Welcome to the Effortless English Show with the world's #1 English teacher, AJ Hoge, where AJ's more than 40 million students worldwide finally learn English once and for all, without the boring textbooks, classrooms, and grammar drills. Here's AJ with a quick piece to help you learn to speak fluent English effortlessly.
Break bad habits. Create good habits. Why is it so difficult? It's difficult, right? You're learning English. You want to have good habits. You want to listen to your English lessons every day. 1 hour, 2 hours a day, maybe more, 3 hours a day. You also want to do some reading every day in English. But then you find you don't do it. Instead, you play on your phone, you text people, you watch videos, you do all kinds of other things that are not good habits. You do things that are not really helping you in life. They're not going to help you get better jobs, not going to help you speak English better, not going to help you have a better life. So why? You get stuck in these patterns, these bad habits, right? And these distractions. So our topic today, how to build good habits. And we're talking about a chapter today from the book Atomic Habits. My VIP members right now, some of them are doing a book club, and they're reading this book, Atomic Habits. They recommended this book to me. So they get together, I think, once a week, I guess, and they talk about one chapter from the book. It's a good book. It's a very nice book about how do you create good habits. Today we're talking about identity. Why identity is important. Why most people, when they try to break a bad habit or when they try to create a good habit, they kind of do it the wrong way. So today we're going to learn a better way, a more powerful way. Join my VIP program at Effortless English Club, club.com, effortlessenglishclub.com. That's my official real website, just that one, Effortless English Club, C-L-U-B, effortlessenglishclub.com. You go there, and all my courses are there, and my VIP program is there, my most successful learners, my most successful students, my VIP members, also my Power English course, my pronunciation course, business English course, they're all there. Go there. Let's get into the book. All right, I'm going to read the chapter. Here it is. Okay, Atomic Habits. How habits shape your identity and vice versa. So the writer says, our first mistake is we try to change the wrong thing, right? We try to change a bad habit, but we try to change the wrong thing and we try to change it in the wrong way. So we fail. Maybe you're trying to quit smoking, for example, or quit drinking, or just quit playing on the internet all the time, and you want to get rid of those. You want to break those bad habits. You also want to make good habits. You want to study English every day. You want to exercise every day. Eat healthy food. All these good habits. So, if you're watching on video, you can see they have a little picture, and it has 3 levels. 3, he calls them layers or levels of behavior change. In the center, if you imagine 3 circles, right? In the center, like a target. In the center is identity. Then the next circle outside that is processes. And then finally the last circle, outcomes. Let's talk about identity. What is identity? Identity is who you think you are, right? The kind of person you think you are. You have a lot of different parts of your identity. These are your beliefs about yourself, right? You could have a religious identity. I am a Vaishnava. I am a Muslim. I am a Christian. Right? That's a religious identity. You could say I'm a runner. Right? In terms of exercise, right? I'm a runner. Right? I like running. Right? So I am a runner. This is not a specific outcome, right? It doesn't say exactly what you're doing. It's just who you are. I am, in English, we use it with phrases like I am a runner. I am a vegetarian, right? Or I am a paleo eater, right? Paleo is a kind of diet. Or, you can say I am a leader. I am a kind person, right? It's all these ideas about yourself. That's identity. That's at the center. Then the next level, processes. Processes are habits, okay? These are things you do frequently. These are activities. Processes means activities, okay? It's kind of the systems or activities you do normally, regularly. So if your identity, I am a runner, that's your identity. That's who you are. I am a runner. What are the processes that you would have? Well, you run every day, right? You go jogging every day, right? You have a habit of jogging, let's say 30 minutes every day. That's a process, right? It's a process. It's something you do. It's a habit. And then you have finally the outcomes. The outcomes are like the specific results. So maybe the specific result is you run a 5K race in, under 21 minutes. Okay, that's a very specific result. You run 5K and your time is 20 minutes and 50 seconds. That's a very exact result. That's an outcome. So these are the three things. Okay, so this writer is saying that the deepest level is identity. And the problem is the big mistake a lot of people make. A lot of people focus on the outcome first, right? This is goal setting. They focus on setting goals first. They believe that's the first level that they try to work on. So they say, my goal is to run a marathon under 4 minutes. Right? So let's say they're fat. Someone is fat and lazy. They never run before. It's all new for them. And they make a goal. They decide, okay, I need to make a new habit. I need to lose weight. I'm going to run and I'll make a goal. So they try to start at the outcome level. They try to start at the goal level first. So they first make a goal. And a lot of books teach you this, right? A lot of speakers teach you this online, on YouTube. A lot of books talk about this, articles, goal settings. Set a specific goal, and they give you details. Set a specific goal, at exact time. So in 6 months, I will run a marathon in less than 4 hours, right? That's a very specific goal. And that's how most people start. And then to do that, then now they have the goal. Then they start, well, now I got to train for it. So then they start training, every day, try to run every day. And then they hope eventually they'll end up being a healthy person. That's the final thing. So they start with the goal first. Then they try to make the habits or the processes, right? The systems. And then the identity changes last. That's what most people do. This book, the writer is saying that's a more difficult way to do it. It's not effective. That a better way, this book recommends starting with identity first. Don't make goals first. Instead, focus first on who you are. That's the most important thing. Because what we're really trying to do is change who we are. So we should start at the center. So first you focus on your beliefs about yourself. So the opposite way to do that, you would, instead of focusing on a very specific goal like a marathon, you would just try to say, I am a runner. And you want to change your belief, because maybe you're not a runner right now. Right? Maybe you're fat and lazy and you're not run. So the first thing you try to change is just your identity, who you are. I'm a runner. You want to change this belief about yourself until you really believe, I'm a runner. I'm a runner. And then when you really believe you're a runner, well, how do you know you're a runner? Well, because you run every day or you run 5 days a week, right? You have a specific habits. And because you're doing it frequently, again and again and again, now that identity becomes very strong. And then when you have this strong identity and these habits, then, only then, the last step, not the first step, the last step is you make a specific goal. I'm going to run a marathon, less than 4 hours in 6 months. That becomes the last part, not the first thing you do. So it says the best motivation is when a habit becomes part of your identity. Right? If you say that you want something, that's not so strong, right? You need motivation to try to get it. But if you say, I am this person, then the motivation is very easy. You don't actually need to get motivation so much, right? If you think, I want to be a runner, I want to run, I want to speak English well, then you gotta, now I gotta force myself to do it, and you're fighting all the time, every day. I need to study more, fighting. But if you just think, I am an English speaker, then it's part of you. You don't need to try to force yourself to do it. It's part of who you are. And it becomes very easy to do it every day, to read, to listen, to talk in English. It's part of who you are, right? So the goal, he says, the goal is not to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. The goal is not to run a marathon. The goal is to become a runner. The goal is not to learn a musical instrument. The goal is to become a musician. Let's talk about the second one again. I like the running example because it's very clear. A lot of people, what they do, there's some very good examples, actually, some famous examples of people who made a goal to run a marathon. And they do it. Oprah Winfrey, do you know her? She's kind of fat American celebrity. And she made a goal one time, I'm going to run a marathon. And she did it. She did run a marathon. I don't know what her time was, but she did it. What's the problem? She didn't become a runner. After the marathon, after she finished the race, she stopped running. So she just got fatter, right? She didn't change her identity. She achieved her goal. She got the goal. She did run a marathon. So obviously, for probably 6 months or so, she was running a lot. And she definitely had to train for it. And she did achieve her goal. That's great. But she didn't really change herself long term. Because after the goal finished, she just went back to her old self, being lazy, not running, and then she just got fatter and fatter again, right? And maybe I've experienced this myself, maybe you have, when you have a goal, and before the goal, to get the goal, you work very hard, is a specific thing you want to do, and you work hard, and then finally you do it, and then what happens? After the goal, after you get it, you lose all your motivation. And then you just stop, and then you just go back again to your old self. So the benefit is only short term, right? And then what do? And then you think, well, I guess maybe I need to make a new goal, and you try to do it again. And this is, it's very hard to keep doing this, because then you constantly needing these new goals to motivate yourself. And it's very easy after you get the goal to quit. Or the opposite also happens. Sometimes you fail to get the goal. You don't achieve it. And then you quit because you lose your motivation. So this is the big weakness of goal setting and focusing on goals too much. It's a very big weakness that it's a short-term thing. It can help you with some motivation for short-term, but long-term, it's a problem. It won't change you. However, if you change your identity If you just think, I'm a runner, and you have a strong belief about this, then you're just going to be a runner. And maybe you make a goal to do your marathon, but maybe you fail. I didn't train hard enough. I didn't do the marathon, but I'm still a runner. I'm still running every week. So, okay, you failed your one short-term goal, but long-term, you're still running. You're staying healthy. You still have good fitness level. So failing a goal, it doesn't matter so much, right? Because you're still doing it. It's a habit, and it's part of who you are. So you keep going, and then you can make a new goal. I'm going to run a marathon 4 hours or less. And then you train and you try. Maybe you get the goal. That's great. You're happy. You're still a runner. Maybe you fail the goal. Oh, well, you're disappointed, but you're still a runner, right? So the real goal, this is the problem, because the real goal is to be healthy and to be active, right? To be a runner, to be a healthy person. That's your real goal, right? For most people. It's not just to finish one race or to do one very specific thing. So this is why the identity is more important than a specific goal. So now the next question. How do you change your identity? Right? How do we change our identity? So maybe you have a bad identity. Maybe you think I'm a fat, lazy person. Right? You think, oh, I'm not a runner. I'm fat. I'm not a good English speaker. I'm terrible. I'm shy. I don't like to speak English. I get bored listening to English. So how do you do it? Here, according to the book, a simple 2-step process. Number 1, decide the type of person you want to be. What kind of person do you want to be? This must be the first step, not the last step. It's your first step. I want to be an international traveling English speaker with lots of international friends. Right? This is a very clear image of the kind of person. It's not just a specific goal. I want to pass the TOEFL test with this score. That's a goal. You might fail. You might succeed with the TOEFL test score, but that's not going to change you long term. But if you say, I am an international traveler with lots of international friends, for example, well, this will change you long term. It's who you are. And then you'll be happy to speak English with people from different countries all around the world and visit different countries and speak English when you travel, since English is probably the most useful language for traveling around. So that's step 1. Decide the kind of person you want to be. And then step 2, prove it with small wins. This is Kaizen. This means that you don't try to change it with one huge goal. You just make little, small habits so that you're doing it a little bit every day, a little bit every day, a little bit every day, or every week. Okay? So you say, if we'll go back to the running example. You say, I'm a runner. To be a runner, what do you need to do? Do you need to run a fast marathon? No. Do you need to run a fast 5K? No. You just need to run frequently. That's all you have to do. Jog even. Jog slowly. That's all, if you can slow jog, let's say, I'd say the minimum would be something like, let's say 3 days a week. You jog slowly for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, 3 days a week, slow jogging. You can even take walking breaks every 10 minutes. And then you're a runner. Right? These are so small wins. You choose something that's fairly easy to do, and you can do it often. So this means you're building a little habit. It doesn't have to be a big habit. Okay? So if you're fat, if you're lazy, you're not a runner, and you decide, I want to be a runner. That's the new identity. That's the kind of person I want to be, a runner. So you choose not a super hard goal. I'm going to run an ultra marathon, 100 kilometers, No, you just say, to be a runner, what do you need to do? You need to run often. But you make it as easy as possible. You try to build easy, simple habits first. And of course, later, yes, you'll improve and they can get more difficult. But in the beginning, you would just choose the easiest thing you could do. So, 20, 30 minutes. If that's even difficult, you might have to start with walking. You might have to start with first the identity is I'm a walker. And every day you go for a walk for 30 minutes. And then eventually you could change that to I'm a runner. Okay? So you start with very small, easy things. For English, for example, you say, I'm an English speaker. You say, I'm an English speaker. You don't have to be the best English speaker. You don't need to be perfect. You don't even need to be fluent. Right? You just, I'm an English speaker. You could just start even with listening. So you just get effortless English lessons. Join my VIP program. I'll promote it. Join my VIP program today. And you just listen at 1 hour every day. You're doing English every day. You're listening an hour a day. You go for a walk with your headphones and, get your cell phone, your iPad, your iPhone, I guess iPhone or iPod, something like that. And you just listen an hour a day while you walk outside. Easy. No stress, no pressure. You don't need to speak perfectly. You don't need to do it 5 hours a day. You don't even need to talk to anybody in the beginning. This is an easy habit. You could just do it every day, an hour a day. I'm an English speaker, right? I'm listening to English. Wow, I'm listening to English every day. I'm listening to AJ talk every day, listening to these mini stories, these more difficult commentaries. This changes your identity. Then later, maybe after 3 months, you're feeling good. Your identity's changing. Then you can make the habits bigger. I'm going to listen 2 hours every day. Or maybe I'm going to talk to somebody on Skype once a week in English. Or maybe I'll read a little bit. Start reading a book. Read 1 chapter every week. Whatever it is, you can add then, right? Then you can add more and add more and add more. But in the beginning, start with your identity and start with very easy habits, right? So with your English, if you're really having trouble now with English, hour a day, just listening only to my mini stories. I mean, that's super easy to do. That's very simple, very easy. It will help you improve a lot. And it's easy to do, right? No pressure, no stress, right? Don't make a big goal to pass the TOEFL test or some other test with a high score right now. That's a lot of stress. That's a lot of pressure. And also, you might fail, you might not. It's not going to change who you are, okay? Start with easy habits first. Something you can easily do every day. You can also start asking yourself questions, he recommends in his book. He says, ask yourself, what would a healthy person do? What would an English speaker do? Right? What would a kind person do? Christians, they ask the question, what would Jesus do? Right? So you ask this question, and you're focused again on identity, right? On identity. What would a healthy person do in this situation? So any situation in life, you're at a restaurant, you're looking at the menu. What would a healthy person eat? Right? You're looking at the menu. What would a healthy person eat? This can help you choose better food, right? Healthier food, make better habits, right? What would an English speaker do? Well, they'd listen each day to English, at least. They would at least do that. So then you're creating habits that are focused on your identity. You're not focusing so much on big specific goals. Big specific goals can help. I'm not saying they're wrong. Okay? Big specific goals are okay. But they're not the most important. And they're not the first thing you should do. The first thing to do, change your identity first. And who you want to be, the kind of person you want to be. Then create little habits that are easy to do. And then finally, when your identity is changed, then start going for the big goals. Okay, it's the same thing if you were about money. You could say, I want to be, or I am a financially free person. I'm financially free. I'm free from work. I don't need to work anymore. That could be the kind of person. That's their identity. Then, well, what kind of habits do you need? Well, you could start cutting your spending, saving money, right? And then eventually you might have a goal, a very specific goal. Save $3 million, whatever, right? So the point is, think about the kind of person you want to become, not just the specific thing you want to do. And again, that book is called Atomic Habits. It's a very good book. We'll maybe do some other chapters from that book. I'm not going to do every single chapter, but I'll do maybe several. All right, let's get into our comments and questions now. We're live on YouTube. Here's I can't read it because it's acrylic. It's the acrylic alphabet, but it says, I choose to be a runner. For a goal to be better, never be the same. Leaving old things behind. Breaking bad habits. Making good ones. Very good. Very, very good. Oh, Fernando Diaz, good to see you as always. Says, great you decided to read this book. In the VIP group, we are meeting once per week, discussing great ideas. Hopefully you can join us sometime. Tata is running the sessions. Oh, nice. Okay. Very good. I'll be happy to join you all again sometime, you VIP members. All right, I want to say we got people just saying hello from us. I'm from Cambodia, called Khmer Angkor Wat Temple. It says Sonbath, America. I have been to there. I've been to Angkor Wat a couple times. Very nice place. Cambodia is a great country. Very nice. Hello to Cicero in Brazil and Hungary, says Tomas from Hungary. Marco Antonio says, what about Bob is the name of a movie that's very funny. It's about baby steps. That was one of my mom's favorite movies. I'll have to watch it again. But this idea of baby steps, of creating little habits. So this is the way to think about it. Create little habits. Just when you're starting, create small habits, right? It can just be, like listening to English every day. If you can't do an hour, do 30 minutes. Do 10 minutes. It's better to do 10 minutes every day and make the habit and start changing your identity, who you are. I'm an English learner. You can just say, I'm an English learner. If you feel like you're not a speaker yet, you just say, I'm an English learner. Well, what does an English learner do? Well, they have to learn English. You have to be doing something with English. If you do nothing, you're not an English learner. So if you say, I'm an English learner, that's the identity, well, then you need to be listening to English every day. Maybe you start just 10 minutes every day. Whatever you need to do, change it. Make it easy. Make it an easy habit. Build it. 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. That will become a habit. Then it's much easier to make it longer. Now I'll do 20 minutes a day. Then I'll do 30. Then I'll do 40. Then an hour. Then maybe up to 2 hours, okay? And just keep building the habit for a while. Don't focus on the outcome. Don't worry about passing some test or how much you're improving. In the beginning, don't worry about that. In the beginning, meaning maybe for 3, 4, 6 months, something like that, don't focus on the results. Focus on the habits. Then when the habits are part of your life, every day you're listening to VIP lessons, for example. You're listening every day 2 hours a day after 6 months. You've got this great habit. You're definitely improving, okay? But don't worry about that. Don't focus on the results. Do it for 6 months. You have a habit. It's part of who you are. You're a strong English learner. You've got this great new habit. You've made improvements. Then make some goals. Then you can make some big goals. I'm going to travel to America, and for 2 weeks I'll travel around and talk to everybody in English, for example, or go to London, or you could do something like that. Some really cool thing like that, if you have the money and the time. Tomas gives an example of breaking the habit of energy drinks. I have not drank an energy drink in the last 4 months. The first week was hard. I had a big craving. Oh, it was easier to stop in cold weather. That's an interesting point. I needed willpower and a goal. Something new. Drinking water. No sugar. Cold weather. It's interesting. In the book, he talks about this. Cold weather. This is also your environment. Changing your environment can help when you break a bad habit or make a new habit. Sometimes our environment, just like your home, you're just in the same place all the time. So you have habits, and in your mind, your brain connects your habits to the place, right? So for example, maybe you have, your living room, and you have the habit of sitting on the couch watching TV. It's a bad habit, but it's just part of it. Couch TV, it connects in your brain. So how could you break that habit? You could throw the couch away. Or throw the TV away. I recommend the TV. Throw the TV away. Oh, now it's not in there. Your environment's changed. Now to watch TV, you have to go somewhere else. You'd have to go to like a bar or something, or someone else's house. Much easier to break the habit by just totally changing the environment. Same with English learning. Sometimes we have a habit, maybe in your house, where you maybe get kind of tired and sleepy, like sitting at a desk. Maybe try to listen to English when you're sitting at your desk and you just get sleepy. Or sitting at a computer. So change the environment. That's one reason I say go outside. Put on your headphones. Go outside and walk outdoors. Totally different environment. It will help you make that new habit. Jassim Alswad says, can I boost my speaking skills by listening a lot only? Or do I have to speak with someone else? Yes, you can improve your speaking just by listening. You can improve it a lot. Of course, eventually you want to speak with someone else. This is really up to you. If you want to speak with someone else, go ahead, start speaking with people. Why not? You don't need to be perfect. Just whatever. Even if your English level is very low, your speaking is bad, just try and just chat with people using your terrible English. Why not? But in general, you want to do a lot of listening, yes. Anna Grigoreva, good to see you as always. Uzmanov Dimorad says, in 90 days, you do something every day, it will become a habit. Yeah, I kind of feel the same. It's around that time. So make a new habit. You need to do it frequently, consistently. About 3 months, you can usually build a pretty good, strong habit. And what does that mean? It means in about 3 months, you can start changing your identity. You start to believe that you are different. I am a jiu-jitsu fighter. I am a runner. I am a vegetarian. I am an English learner or English speaker, right? So, you want to give yourself at least 3 months just focusing on the habits. And you can go longer too if you want. Miguel Hernandez says, hey bro, how are you? You're the best because your videos are free. Well, thank you. Greetings from Puebla, Mexico. I've been there. Nice place. Kind of university town, if I remember. When you come, I'll buy you some tacos and semita poblana and a Coke. Awesome. Maybe I'll come back to Puebla someday. Ben Alexander, good to see you. You inspire me a lot. I remember before I immigrated to the U.S., I was learning English through your podcast. I got my American citizenship last year. Awesome. Congratulations. Cicero, I'm from Brazil. What do you consider the following? Good habits, and what about bad habits? There's so many bad habits and so many good habits, right? Depends, In general, good habits are habits that help us long term to be better people, more virtuous, more healthy. Bad habits do the opposite. They make us less healthy, less virtuous. That would be my simple definition. Olga, great to see you as always. Olga Kalishnikova says, now I want to be a good person, more patient. I'm passionate, sharp. How can I be a better person? Some people think it's the most difficult thing in my life. It is difficult for everybody. So don't feel bad. It's difficult for me too. I'm trying to be more patient. This is one of my probably right now. It's my big one. And not just now, it's been for a few years since I got kids, I realized I'm not a patient person at all, and trying to change this identity. I want to be a more patient person. I am more patient now, that's for sure. Am I a very patient person? I don't know. I want to be better. So it's that constant improvement too, right? That Kaizen approach of little by little, but definitely better than I used to be. So this is how you do it. You just you decide the kind of person you want to be, and then you start trying to build the habits. Like to be a patient person, maybe you just have to wait an extra minute before you get upset. Right? You keep yourself calm for an extra minute. Normally, before you'd get, frustrated, you have to. Kids will help you do this, right? You get to practice a lot when you have kids. Anna says, my husband has always smoked. It's terrible. Yeah, cigarette smoking really is a tough one to break, from what I hear. This disgusting habit eats his health, his youth, his money. He doesn't understand it. I've already explained it to him so many times without success. Well, yeah, you can't do it for someone else. I think we can all learn this, right? We've all seen this probably in our life. It's easy to see another person, they have a bad habit, it's doing bad things to them. But, you can't change for them. They have to want to do it. They can do it, but they have to want to. If they don't want to, what can you do? Not much. Why did I leave my Ben Alexander following up. Why did you leave your social work job in the USA? Hi from California, Orange County. Orange County's down in that LA area. South California. Let me find that question again. Why did I leave my social work job? Or career, really, right? Because I had several social work jobs. I mean, it's a long story, but the short answer is I just didn't feel like I was really helping. Because the systems, the organizations, but maybe some of them were big organizations like hospitals. Some of them were smaller nonprofits, but I really did not feel they were truly helping. I felt there was too much corruption in it. That most of the money was going to just keep the people working, right? Just pay. Most of the money was going to the social workers and bureaucrats and other people like that. And that very few people actually cared. It's kind of like teaching in the school system. Same idea. I think it's great to help people, but doing it as a job in a system, I'm pretty cynical about that because I had reason to be. So, I am open. I've actually thought about, I'm quite interested recently in speech therapy, which would connect my two careers. I used to be a social worker, which is kind of like therapy and helping people, and then English teaching, and then if you kind of connect those two, speech therapy, and I'm very interested in speech therapy. So this is like especially helping kids who maybe are struggling to learn to speak. They're delayed. They have some problems with their brain development or something, but there's lots of reasons people have trouble speaking. And anyway, I've thought about it. We'll see. Maybe in the future I'll talk more about it. I'm learning about it right now. All right, Mohammed El Qari says, I am an intermediate level. I understand 80% of what you say. I want to become an advanced level and talk fluently. Do you think only listening to your podcast is enough? Yes, if you do it a lot. If you do it several hours a day, yes. If you can do it, I recommend join my VIP program, because that's the whole point of the VIP program, is to help you become advanced. So you're kind of the perfect level for my VIP program. But if you can't afford that, then yes, you can listen to my podcast, you can listen to other YouTubes, you can do a lot of things on your own. It's just more difficult because you have to do it all yourself. Phu Vuvan, sorry, I'm terrible with Vietnamese pronunciation, says, "Hi Jay, I was stressed at my job and then I quit my job. I started learning English and I really enjoy English. My dream is speaking English like a native speaker. In English, I found my favorite thing." Great. See, that's awesome. Good for you. And then, you can use English to get a different job. And you can use English in a new career, right? Where you'll be speaking English, some kind of international, many ways you could do it. You could be a teacher, your English teacher. You could do some kind of international business, whatever. So good luck to you. That's really great to hear. Cool. Hassan Nazari says, "I learned English entirely and completely by myself. Now I'm making videos and sharing my experience with people around the world." Yes, this is the great thing about English, especially because it is this kind of international language now, that it's a way to connect to the whole world. Right? If you make videos in English, you will people all over the world, everywhere in the world, will watch your videos, right? It's really cool. Uzmanov says, "I'm listening to your podcast every day. I finish many of them. It's my habit now. By the way, your book clubs are great." Thank you. We'll have to do another book club soon, huh? Aziz says, "Hi from Saudi Arabia. I invite you to visit us. I will make kabsa for you." I hope so. We'll see. That sounds great. I mean, that's a good question. Where was it? Trejukui. I'm not sure how to pronounce this profile name. Would a learning plateau be a factor for creating habits? This is a great. So plateau. What's a plateau? A plateau in learning. It comes from geography, but a plateau in learning is when you are practicing, but you're not improving. It seems you're not improving, right? So you're trying, but nothing's changing. That's a plateau. It feels like it's flat, right? In geography, that's what it is. A plateau is like a flat area that's kind of a little higher. So flat. So the idea is like let's say you're listening to English every day, 1 month, 2 months, but you feel, I'm not getting better. Nothing's improving. That's a plateau. They're very normal. In all learning, all skills, you will have plateaus, right? You don't feel you are improving every day. Maybe you are, but you don't notice it. Right, so same with running. If we use a running example, you're running every day. You go to a race, your time is the same. You don't get faster, right? It's a plateau. How does this connect with habits? Well, it's very important. Habits help you keep going, right? Because if you don't have good habits, what happens is if you just focus on goals only, you will get very frustrated. Because what happens? You have a goal. My goal, I'm going to run faster. I have a specific time. But then what happens? You improve for a while. You feel great. Oh, I'm getting better. I'm getting faster. Yes. And then you hit a plateau. And you're not improving. Your times are not getting faster. And you're still thinking that goal. I'm not getting closer to the goal. I'm not getting closer. And then what happens? Most people get very frustrated. You start to get frustrated and maybe lose your motivation. And often people quit. They quit. Because this plateau is too long. I feel like I'm not getting better. This is, again, another danger of focusing on on goals too much. And it's a good point of habits. If you just have a habit, you're not worried about your time. I'm just going to run every day. You can keep running every day. Even if you're not getting faster, you can certainly keep doing it. Right? Doesn't matter if you're getting faster. You just have the habit. I'm a runner. I run every day. I'm a runner. I run every day. Oh, yeah, I'm a plateau now. I'm not getting faster. I don't care because it's just my habit. Right? And this will help you get through. You'll keep your motivation. You'll keep your identity for 1, 2, 3 months during the plateau. And what will happen? Eventually, you will go up again. Eventually, you do start improving. Plateaus are not forever. So I think that focusing on habits during a plateau, very important. Don't focus on goals during your plateau because you'll get frustrated. Yeah, Cicero gives some examples. He gives his examples of good habits. Bathing every day, eating breakfast, washing your hands, drinking water, not soda, regular physical activities, reading every day, family time, listening to English. Bad habits, not exercising, not enough sleep, too much screen time, slouching, bad posture, spending too much money, procrastination, negative self-talk. All these are good, yeah. Love from Kashmir, says Adil. Thank you. Zed says, I'm living in my car in Rochester, New York. Cool. I lived in my car. Enjoy. There's actually some interesting, nowadays, when I did it, there was just, I found this one book, this guy lived in his car, and it inspired me to try it. But nowadays, there's some interesting YouTube channels of people doing it. Some people have amazing car. They're like, it's like an RV in a car. It's pretty clever, very interesting. Anna Grigorieva says, I used to spend my spare time, my extra time, on TV when I was a child. How stupid I was. I could have spent all my free time on something useful. Reading, sports, self-education. I regret it. Now, no TV. Yeah, we can often have a lot of bad habits when we're young because we don't know. We don't think deeply enough. We don't realize. We have not enough experience in life. And maybe we sometimes it's easy to look back and regret, like, oh man, I have this too, you know. You can look back and like, I wasted so much time on stupid stuff. Oh well. Usmanov says some middle-aged men are addicted to alcohol and never get rid of it. Not just middle-age, and not just men. So, men, women, there are a lot of alcoholics out there. During Ramadan, they fast, but as soon as Ramadan is finished, the bad habits start again. Well, this is a good point, right? So, Ramadan, so fasting and, not doing these bad things. On one hand, it's good. It gives you a start, right? Like every year, they have to stop it. But the problem is it's short term. It's not a habit. They don't change their identity, right? So what happens? Ramadan ends, right back to drinking, right? Do they get some benefit? Sure, they get like a 1 month benefit, but it's a short term benefit because they don't change their identity. It's a good point. So during Ramadan, they need to change the better approach is they should, of course, don't drink, but focus on changing their identity. I'm not a drinker. So that when Ramadan ends, they never start again. Marco says, I'm always quitting my jobs. I learned this from AJ. Bad habit or good habit? I don't know. But yes, I quit my jobs constantly. Olga Kalishnikova says, can you say what you learn with your kids at home? Because now I learn with my kids at home also. How can I do it more interesting? I'm sorry it's not our discussion today. It's also about building habits with your kids, right? So with my kids, who are 4 years old also, it's really what we're focused on now, I've been doing a lot of thinking recently, for some different reasons about what to focus on now with my kids, and I've decided that I'm not going to focus on academics now. So are they learning some reading? Yeah, we do a little bit of reading, and I mean, I read to them a lot. My wife reads to them all the time, but I'm not too worried about teaching them reading yet. They've learned some number stuff like counting, but again, are we like focused on learning math and stuff? No. A lot of you'll see a lot of textbooks or like in kindergartens, they have all these goals, like they need to learn to do this and this and this and this, like it's this big hurry. I don't care about that stuff. I think it's not important at this age. So our focus now is on social and family life, and the main thing is recently I'm focused on helping my kids join us in family life. What does that mean? Like have them help do everything. So they're learning to wash the dishes. Now, they make a giant mess. They're not actually washing all the dishes, right? Of course. But, in their mind, they're helping. So I'll give them a bowl and a plate, maybe one they used already, that they used when they were eating, and they go in the bathroom sink, and I give them a little soap, and they start rubbing. And so this is teaching them at this young age that, I'm part of the family, and this is, important thing. We wash dishes, right? And they'll help my wife hang up laundry. I want to have them help me do this show a little bit. It's a little too complicated for a 4-year-old to do this computer stuff, right? But eventually I'll help them. Maybe they can focus the camera. They can learn how to, start YouTube or the video software. When they're older, I want them to do that. I take them shopping. When we go shopping, they go with us. So on what it makes everything slower and a little more difficult because, they're mostly kind of playing and they're not actually very helpful yet. Quite the opposite, right? They usually make a big mess of everything. But the idea is that just involving them in family life and social life and creating this connection and learning. Like when I cook, they have these little wooden knives, right? So they can't hurt themselves. And they chop potatoes for me, or sweet potatoes. So I give them some and they chop, 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 chop. So that's kind of our focus, and I think for the next few years, it's going to be just just having them join us in normal daily life and learning all these things and participating. And of course, as they get older, they can do more and more. They help take out the garbage. They help all that kind of stuff, and then just verbal communication, talking. Getting them to talk. We're working on politeness right now. In English, it's really easy. Just say thank you and please a lot. So we're working on that with them and just growing their vocabulary and the academic stuff, the reading and writing and basic math stuff. I'm gonna wait for a couple years to focus on that. They'll learn it some. They're exposed to it. Like they learn the letter sounds already, but I'm not gonna push them. So that's what we're doing, and this makes it easier for me to be patient and just enjoy time. For me, my focus is just on having a good attitude with them, being very positive, very encouraging, and very patient with them, and just really my focus is enjoying my time with them. That we're a family. We're not separate. It's not like there's the adults and the kids, and the adults do everything important, and the kids just go play or study school and do nothing else. The opposite. We're a family, and we do all these things together, and we're teaching them all these things together. We're growing tomatoes on our balcony and all this stuff. We have an ant farm. It's just this kind of stuff. Just enjoying my kids. I'm not too worried about the reading, honestly. It'll come. They like books. They love books. So we read to them all the time. That's probably about 90% of developing reading is just getting them to love it. Okay. Yeah, like Marco says, you need to quit measuring results. Just go on. Eventually, you'll get there. Enjoy. It's like exactly enjoy the journey. This is another problem of goals. And like I said, goals are okay. They're okay, but people make goals too important, and they get so focused on the goals they don't enjoy the process. Okay, the goal is usually a very short moment. So if you focus too much on it, you're missing everything else. Like, let's say you have a goal. Like I do jiu-jitsu. Like, my goal is to win a tournament. Okay? Well, that tournament is just one day. It's just one day. You go, you fight, and maybe I win. Yay, gold medal. Woohoo. That's nice. It's totally fine. But then it's done. Now what do I do? Right? I have all these days before the tournament. All the days after the tournament. It's the same with a race in running. Okay, my goal is to do this marathon under 4 hours. Okay, that's one day. It's only one day. You're missing all the other days if you focus on the goal only. If you make the goal too big, right? Maybe you have 6 months to train for the marathon. That's 6 months. Enjoy that. You have to learn to enjoy the training. The training part is most of the time is training. The race is just 4 hours or under. All the rest of the time is training. If you're not enjoying the training, you're missing the point, right? This is, again, this idea of identity. I'm a runner. I enjoy running. I love being out there and training and running in the snow and running in the sun and running in the heat and running in the trails and on the roads. I love feeling the feeling of running and challenging myself. The goal's nice. The race is a fun little extra thing. But 99.99% of the time is the training every single day. The race is a tiny moment. And this is a problem. A lot of people become, they focus so much on the goals. They don't enjoy the journey, like we say, right? They're just trying to get somewhere, and they don't enjoy the time they spend going there. They miss out on all the best parts. They don't really actually enjoy their life. They don't really change who they are. They're just focused on the goal. And then after the goal, they become unhappy because now what do I do? Right? They lose all their motivation and happiness. It's the same, I did the Camino de Santiago. You guys know that big, it was 30 days walking across Spain. That was nice. That was really a great experience. But honestly, I also really enjoyed training for it. I trained probably 6 months before that. So the training, again, was longer than the experience. The experience was 30 days, 31 days. But the training was 6 months, 180 days. And I enjoyed the training. I did a lot of running and jogging and hiking just to prepare for it. So that, the training, and then, of course, afterwards, I continued walking. So it made me into changing my identity and my habits of being a walker, a hiker, and really enjoying that. Right? So don't get too focused on the goals so much that you lose everything else. It's actually the journey and the practice and the training and the everyday. That's the most important thing. Joel Hari says, my name is Huang. I'm from Vietnam. I do the listen and answer mini stories 3 to 4 times every day. Great habit. So using VIP or maybe Power English and listening to the mini stories specifically 3 to 4 times every day. That's a great, great, great habit. And just keep doing it. Keep doing it. And you will get better. I'm sure you already have improved a lot. Good example. All right. It's almost time to go. Let's see. I'll take one more. This is a great. We'll finish with this because it combines our topic and children. Amina says, we should teach our kids good manners from childhood, not when they become teenagers, because it will be difficult once they become teenagers. So this is basically the same habit. because the point is, right, that teaching good habits to your kids when they're young is maybe the best thing you can do when they're young, right? Because once they're teenagers, if they have bad habits already, it is very tough. A lot of people, believe me, I know, because I know a lot of parents with teenagers, and they complain a lot about all the bad behavior of the teenagers and the bad attitude of the teenagers, the rudeness, lots of different things. Why? Well, because they let those habits build. Those habits, they didn't become that way in one day, right? No, these bad habits built for a long time. They created bad habits, or they didn't create good habits. And then, okay, now they're 16 years old and they have all these bad habits. Then the parents try to change it. It's very tough. For example, screen time. This is when you hear a lot. Oh, my teenager, they just look at their phone all day and ignore everybody. Well, and then what can I do? Well, now it's very tough. You let them make this habit of looking at a phone, at screens all day. Now you want to break it when they're 16. It's a very tough habit, and you're trying to break someone else's habit. It's always hard to do, right? It's hard to break your own habit. It's almost impossible to break someone else's if they don't want to. So the best answer is don't let them become screen addicts. You have to start when they're young. Don't let them do it. Never let them develop the habit. It's a terrible habit, so never let it start. Don't give them a phone. Don't give them an iPad. If you use if you have some sort of videos or something, some kind of computer or screen iPad that you do for education, reading or studying something, you control it. It's yours. Don't just give it to them and let them just play around on it, right? You say, okay, we're going to do your, let's say it's English. They're watching English videos. All right, we're going to do English videos for 30 minutes. Here, and then you get the iPad, you turn it on, you open the app. All right, in English videos, and you're there still, you're listening. And when the English videos are done after 30 minutes, you say, all right, done. And then you pick it up, you take it away, you turn it off, and you put it somewhere. Okay, this is how you do it. You don't let them they never get the habit of just playing around on the screen and looking at it all day. You never let it start. That's my advice. All right, guys. So my VIP program, Effortless English Club. That's my real official site, effortlessenglishclub.com. Join my VIP program. That's just $1 to try it. VIP program, just $1 to try it. Also, my other courses. Power English is a great course on the homepage. Pronunciation course, business English, whatever you need. Change those habits. Lots of love to you. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.